Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Fort Lee Wrestling here on the Fort Lee Athletics page on YouTube. As tonight, it's the visiting Tigers of Tenafly, 0-3 on the season, coming to take on the Fort Lee Bridgemen, who are 2-1 on the season. Hello, everyone. I'm Dan Long, joined alongside by my analyst, Charlie Salome, and we're so glad that you could join us here from East Gymnasium. And Coach Salome, it's nice to finally get to meet you and get the chance here to call some wrestling action between these two teams as Fort Lee is trying to do something for the first time since 2011, take down Tenafly.
Nice to meet you as well. Yeah, it should be an interesting match. It looks like we have a decent amount of matches with both teams who have forfeits in certain weight classes, but it should be enough that the thing should be competitive till the end.
As Tenafly coming in 0-3 on the season, losing in their last time out against Pascack Valley on March 20th. And Fort Lee off a two-match win streak, coming in off a 48-33 victory last time out in league play in the Big North American with a win here at home against Dumont.
Yeah, that was a big win for Fort Lee. Dumont's been one of the stronger teams in the league, so that's really putting them in the front seat for a potential league championship.
And we begin tonight at 106 pounds, and it's going to be Peter Benicos, a freshman, who's now going to go to 4-0 on the season because it was a forfeit victory at 106. So we begin with Tenafly leading here 6-0 as a result of that forfeit to begin tonight. So our first opportunity is going to be here at 113 pounds.
Yeah, it looks like Patrick Rendon for Fort Lee.
Rendon, a junior, 2-1 on the season, 2 wins each by pinfall in the first period. Against Malik Attila, a senior, 0-2 this season for Tenafly, lost by pin last time out against Pascack Valley on March 20th. So the first bout of the night after a forfeit at 106 pounds. We're here.
Ooh, great ankle pick there by Rendon.
A point already, and already it's back points and a near fall opportunity here.
Yeah, he's got it. Yep.
Fort Lee evens it out 6-all, and a great execution there, as you were saying, Charlie, to get that opportunity to get the opponent on the back.
Yeah, it was quick. Obviously, even when you said about Rendon, is he's got both matches by pins. He seems to be a pin artist, and he goes straight for it early in the first period here today.
So the first two bouts in the book. A forfeit victory at 106 pounds to Tenafly, and then a pinfall victory at 113.
Looks like Fort Lee has to send their wrestler out first, so the coach from Tenafly is waiting to see who Fort Lee's going to send out before he sends his guy out.
And that's a lot of the strategy that goes into it whenever you see also with a coin toss at the beginning, with a flip of the coin, to see who gets to make those changes. And just, is it a case, Coach, of just adjusting on the fly to see who you could possibly put out there and save maybe towards another weight?
You know, when you get the understanding of who is, like where the match is going to start, because not everyone starts at 106, you tend to have, that's a good shot there, you tend to plan on where you want to manipulate the send, right? Like you want to make sure that, like, if there's a big match at like 170, for example, and you're not sure who the other team's going to send out, you want them to have to send out that weight class. You try to strategize before the match. Obviously, it doesn't always work in your favor, but
it's those little parts that go into just the actual wrestling. It's the strategy involved as well that maybe gets lost in the screaming and the adulations around a normal period of time. It's a jam-packed gym, but you're seeing some wrestlers that maybe are bumping up a couple weight classes, and they become those instant heroes that pull the upset that lead to the team score.
Yeah, I think, when I used to coach wrestling, when I first started, I didn't realize the in and outs of that part of the game, and a lot of people don't see those things. And a lot of things, for example, is the team score and how that works with the pins or the decisions or the major decisions or the technical falls, and how they can impact the team score at the end of the match.
You could always see that you could even lose your bouts and still win the overall thing, saving those bonus points. As Fort Lee leading currently right now here with about 37 seconds left to go in the first period at 120 by a 2-0 score courtesy of the takedown by Armstrong.
Yeah, he's got an arm bar in there right now. He's trying to run him to his back.
Ryan Armstrong, the sophomore, 1-0 on the season.
Ryan's is going to want to keep his head turned away here. You don't want to look into where he's coming from. He's doing a good job at it right now.
Still leading 2-0, and now a whistle for potentially dangerous, and that'll stop the clock with 14.3 seconds left to go here in the opening period. Still a 2-0 lead for Armstrong of Fort Lee High School. Both teams with the usual school colors identical in this rare circumstance. Normally Fort Lee is known for their
black and orange.
And now you're seeing Tenafly also black and orange, but Armstrong in the all black with a gray siding down the side for Fort Lee with the interlocking FL in the back. And he'll hold on to control here just as the buzzer sounds, and that might have saved Tenafly as it'll head to the second period. Still a 2-0 lead for Armstrong of Fort Lee.
You know, one of the things that you were saying about like the team score thing, it gets pretty interesting when when a kid who's supposed to get pinned only gets decision. It's only 3 points. It's a major win for the team. So
that's always been the most amazing thing, where I've called these different high-powered matches for seasons, and to have a whole chorus of fans erupt, even though someone maybe just survived the tech fall, but because in the grand scheme of things, that saved their team from allowing 2 more points to the opponent.
Right. Yeah, the die-hard team wrestling fans are definitely counting up the scores all night long. Calculating.
And God forbid if you get to criteria at the end of things, and then it's you bring out the abacus and you
try to. It's a tough one to go.
You try to total and how you get and you break that tie.
Yeah, you hate to lose a match like that. I think we might have lost to Tenafly like that back in one of my last years. Yeah, it might have been one of those.
Armstrong on bottom, trying to hold on here and trying to hold on to his 2-point lead, as Tenafly trying to even the score and trying to get back in the swing of things here as we're approaching 1 minute left to go in the second period.
And he's holding that leg. He's got that leg, and bang.
Nice work of defensive wrestling.
It's a very good job right there. He almost lost 2 points in a reversal, but
it's 6-6 overall on the team scoreboard, as it was a forfeit victory for Tenafly at 106 where we began tonight. And then at 113, just recently a pinfall victory. As Armstrong in control here, trying to get another pinfall.
Back points here.
Near fall.
Settle him in, and there it is.
There's the pin with 32.6 seconds left to go in the second period here at 120 pounds. Back-to-back pin victories for Fort Lee, has the Bridgman now on top by a score of 12-6 on the team scoreboard.
Yeah, you don't want to project here, but based on the way they waited to send that kid out, I don't think they were anticipating him getting pinned.
And certainly a concern for Coach Chris Marin, who's in charge of Tenafly, is that he already knows that in the upper weights, he's going to be forfeiting from 182 to heavy. So he needs to get points and get points by the plenty here in the lower weights.
Yes. You definitely don't want to give up the bonus points early.
Checking in at 126, Kim.
Joshua Kim, a senior for Tenafly, 1-2 on the season. He's 0-1 at 120 pounds, but 1-1 at this weight class at 126.
Nice pick there. Yeah, go ahead, and he's got 2.
And quickly, 2-point lead here for Fort Lee.
He's throwing his legs in there.
And this is the first season, fans, that Fort Lee is co-oping with Palisades Park as a program, wrestling under the title of Fort Lee, under head coach Gerard Carroll in his 6th season at the helm of the Bridgman program. As Palisades Park has, in the past, wrestled as a co-op with Leonia.
I believe he's a Palisades Park kid, Greg.
As Greg Hadulis, the junior, 2-0 on the season. 3-0, on the season. As he's bounced back and forth between
up for a cradle right now.
120 and 126. Leading by 2-0 as we come up on 1 minute left here in the opening period.
He's doing a lot of work up there. Looking for bonus points.
as Kim has not been able to find freedom and trying to get some space, get that escape potentially for Tenafly to cut his deficit in half just before the period.
Yeah.
But Hadula's coach is doing such a great job of just holding on to him and not allowing that opportunity for the escape.
Yeah, one of the things you have to do when you're on top is, like, especially with the officials, is you're always working for improvement. And what that means is you can't just stand up there and just lay heavy on top of the kid. They're always going to be looking for you to try to work the guy to his back, and the officials always make that clear before the match. A lot of stallings get called, even if it looks like, for example here, Hadulas has the advantage. If he's not working to do something, which he is,
they will bang him with a stall.
Yeah, just to let him know. Like, you can't just. And the same thing goes for the guy on bottom.
Absolutely.
It looks like he's turning him.
Kim is trying to hold on here with 15 seconds left to go in the period.
He's got to hold on to that leg.
It was Greg Hadulas, the junior, is trying to peel him backwards to expose him to his
He's
back.
got to turn his head away here. Yeah, that's a good job.
It looks like Kim will survive and get through that first period. Down 2-0 here at 126 pounds.
He's going to defer. So he's got choice. He's deferring. Have you noticed a lot of the teams, like, most of the time, will put their kids on bottom if they have the choice. One of the things I figured out is, like, you can't always do that. Because if your kid, obviously he's good enough to get out and he does a great job here, but you don't want to put, oh boy, all right.
And there's quickly a pin,
so that's why that works there. So
but sometimes you
got to feel confident.
Yeah,
you got to feel confident. Put your kid on bottom, guarantee the 1-point escape, and see what else can happen. And he does a good job there getting out and put him right to his back.
3 consecutive pins for Coach Gerard Carroll, and Fort Lee, as once again Greg Hadulas looking really sharp, getting that pinfall victory in the second, as we now have an 18-6 advantage for Fort Lee this evening.
It's a good start for Hadulas. Right? No losses yet, right?
Yep. Still perfect, 4-0 on the season. So George Benicos about to wrestle. His brother Peter, who's a freshman, got the forfeit victory at 106 for Tenafly. George Benicos is sophomore, 2-0. Last won a decision on March 18th, 8-5 against Mawa.
Good takedown there from, what's his name, Max?
I believe it was Matthew Jong.
No, what's the Tenafly kid's name?
And it's going to be George Benicos.
George. It's a great takedown by George.
So both teams with a couple of pair of brothers in their lineups here today, as we saw the first Hadulas.
Right.
And we'll soon see also his brother, who has been excellent so far this season at the heavier weights for Fort Lee.
Yeah, 182, right? 182, 185.
Tenafly looking for their first victory in a matchup here with 2 wrestlers squaring at it, other than obviously the forfeit to begin tonight.
Right, from a team standpoint, that's very, builds some confidence, right? You don't want to end up just getting your points from forfeit, so you want to get things going in the right direction.
And this is a Tenafly program, Charlie, that went 12-13 overall last season, finished 3rd in the Big North Patriot Division. They lost to Riverdale, a local power in Bergen County in the quarters of the Section 1 Group 3 state playoffs. And they defeated Fort Lee 52-28 at home, and they won 5 matches by either pinfall and 3 by forfeit. So it was kind of a big win for them, and they have not lost to Fort Lee
here, Coach,
since 2011. And there you go. Tenafly,
that's a good win for them.
Gets the pin that they so desperately needed. And George Benicos.
Yeah, from a team standpoint, Tenafly always puts out a good product,
So now that deficit is cut to 18-12.
A couple big matches
We've been
coming
seeing
up.
a lot of points out here.
Yeah, a lot of pins.
The team score, as we're now seeing 4 consecutive pins. It was first 3 in a row by Fort Lee, now a pinfall victory for Tenafly. And add in the 6 points for the forfeit at 106. Maxing out the scoreboard early and often here.
Checking in at 138, Mangasser versus John.
So, Matthew Jong this time for Fort Lee at 138. And Mangasser, William Mangasser, the senior, who's looking for his first victory of the season for Tenafly, squaring off here at 138.
get some good movement going on early in this one. Good shot. And this looks like he's going to get his 2 points here.
Mangasser does just that as he takes an early 2-0 lead. 20 seconds gone by here in the first at 138 pounds.
Yeah, from a team standpoint, Tenafly is going to want to be looking for pins, especially because of what you said earlier with the forfeits in the upper weights.
As they don't have any wrestlers at 182, 195, 220, and 285, so they need to get going here. They got help in the last match by George Benicos at 132.
Nice escape there by Matthew.
John gets the escape point, cuts the deficit in half to 2-1 with 110 and counting left to go here at the first period of 138 pounds. Both wrestlers still trying to find control here at the neutral position in the middle of the mat with under a minute left to go here in the first.
One of the big things coaches try to preach to wrestlers, especially when both are neutral, is to constantly be moving, constantly trying to create angles, don't stand still, probably similar to boxing.
Still a 2-1 lead for William Mangasser of Tenafly. Coming up on 30 seconds left to go in the first period. Matthew
I like
Chong,
that both
Jr.
wrestlers, both wrestlers seem to be taking shots here. Both are being aggressive.
Wortley again in the black with a gray trim, and Tenafly in the black and orange. Another takedown from Mangasser.
That's going to be a pin.
And he gets the pin. In the latter stages of the first, he gets the pin.
Right. There's a certain point where if you feel like you're getting taken down, it's a big no-no to turn into the guy. You want to turn away and give up the 2 points. It's better to give up the 2 instead of give up the pin and see if you could work yourself and improve.
So now we're tied 18 all overall for this duel between Tenafly and Fort Lee. Fans, our 2021 Bridgman Wrestling store is open now and accepting your orders until April 5th. Items purchased will ship directly to your home address. To buy now, visit tinyurl.com/Bridgman Wrestling Store. That's tinyurl.com/Bridgman Wrestling Store. Let's go, Fort Lee.
Looks like
So
we just got a forfeit here at
Tenafly
152.
At 145, so that's more points going for the Tigers, and now they've taken a 24-18 lead against Fort Lee. As we head now to 152 pounds.
Checking in at 152, Wallach versus Yalowitz.
So Wallach versus Yalowitz is our matchup here at 152. Wallach, a junior, 1-0 on the season for Tenafly. And Yalowitz, a junior, 2-1 for
Wallach being aggressive early.
Fort
Quick
Lee.
shot right off the whistle. Yalowitz had a good season for Fort Lee last season. Looks like he's going to get 2 points there. But he's
the 2 given to Fort Lee. And take a 2-0 lead. Yalowitz won an 18-7 major decision his last time up as a stalemate whistle there. And Wallach, again a junior, had a pinfall victory his last match against Cliffside Park on March 16th. Tenafly with back-to-back pins and a forfeit, getting 18 consecutive team points. Wortley looking for more here,
like
right in front of us.
Backs, yeah.
2 on the back points in the near fall. Now the scoreboard reading a 6-0 lead for Fort Lee. Here with 1 minute left to go in the first period at 152. 24-18 lead for Tenafly.
Looks like he's working for a cradle here.
Wallach trying to hold him off below.
Yep, he's got him.
In the cradle and the back points being called off.
Just got to see if we can get both shoulder blades down now. Now they'll hold this until he releases the move, as he just did right there.
As he's awarded the 3 more points with that near fall count. He's once again trying to work for more, leading 9-0. 25 seconds and counting left to go here in the opening period at 152. We've seen nothing but pins here, pins and forfeits tonight at East Gym.
I don't want to get presumptuous, but it looks like we're heading in that direction.
If you love bonus points, this is your match here tonight
Yeah.
at Fort Lee.
And he's gonna survive the period, though.
As
big.
that'll end the first period. Still, they're resetting the score, but it looks like it's a 7-0 lead officially as Fort Lee's going to have control heading into the second period here. Dan Long joined alongside on the call for the first time by Charlie Salome, the head football coach here at Fort Lee. And Coach, proudly seeing 2020 on the banner in this gym. Congratulations on a great season.
Thank you. It was like we were talking about before the match. It was interesting to say the least. It was tough, with all the rules and regs. But I really proud of the way the kids handled all the things we had to deal with. We did have to quarantine at one point for 2 weeks, but kids kept coming back and they did their best to make the best out of an interesting situation, to say the least.
And historic, to say the least, too, because that's the first championship for football since 1983, if I'm reading the banner correctly here at East Gym.
That is correct.
It's not just a usual football season that you have to contend with, Charlie, to
Right.
deal with, as all the coaches and all the student athletes that we've been broadcasting here on this YouTube channel for Fort Lee Athletics. So much more to go into it, and that's the same here for wrestling, as they're starting the season way later than they're used to when it's supposed to be right before Christmas.
Right.
Now starting up in March.
Well, end of March, the season would be normally over, right?
Absolutely.
Atlantic City, the championships would be over. But again, you got to tip your cap to these kids who, despite, and it looks like both. I know we said Tenafly is the forfeit, but in a tough sport to begin with, the numbers are still pretty good for both teams. And that's a testament to the kids.
And it's tough enough in wrestling season to keep your weight.
You're
now
correct.
you throw it in the midst of a pandemic where you're at home the whole time.
Right.
That's really having, a sacrifice and a discipline that's involved in a sport that's all about discipline.
Yeah, really. I mean, all the cookies and snacks at home are hard to.
I know.
It's easy not to eat them when you're not home, but when you're there, they're staring at you and you're bored.
1 minute remaining here in the second. It remains a 7-0 lead. Yellowitz
Looking
here
for
at
backs
Fort Lee.
here. Looks like he's going to get some. Ooh, good job by rolling out.
Mangasser
He's gonna
trying to
tight
get out of
here.
harm's
Oh,
way,
he's got him.
but he can't.
Another pin.
And inevitably was going to happen after a dominant first period. Eventually, it ends up as a pin here in the second with 47 seconds left to go in the period. And now it's deadlocked on the team scoreboard, 24-24.
This looks like a Big 12 football game. Just points all over the place.
As we are just seeing pins and forfeits here tonight as we head to 160 pounds.
The question is, are we going to have a match that's not going to end with 6 points at this point?
Well, right
It's
now,
interesting.
again, we're due the
How many more do we
the
have?
total 6 points with 182 to 285. So
We got 2 more matches to go. We'll see.
we'll see if you jinx us. If it's almost like a no-hitter or a perfect game if
I
you
might
spoke
have
too
I
soon.
might have just
24-24.
Looks like Mateo.
As we will have a matchup here at 160 pounds.
Checking in at 160, Figueroa versus Lopez.
So Peguero versus Lopez, the matchup here at 160. Peguero, a senior 0-3 this season for Tenafly. And Mateo Lopez looking for his first win.
Mateo applying heavy pressure on his head early.
24-24 in the team scoreboard. We began tonight at 106 pounds. We're currently at 160.
Good shot there by Lopez.
Still no points between both sides.
One of the things kids have to understand is you want to set the tone early in a match. You want to take shots, be the aggressor, but you don't want to do it with carelessly, because that's how you can get yourself caught. But it's always better to be on the offensive.
You see that's the case sometimes, Charlie, with someone trying to protect a lead.
Yeah,
That sometimes they get too defensive, and then you get hit with the stalls late in the match. That changes the complexion
Yes.
at all, and all of a sudden you go from maybe being up by a takedown and you find your way into losing or going into
Yeah.
overtime when you had no
Yeah.
right doing so.
yeah, it's a brutal thing. It's hard to, and it all depends on certain officials see things a little differently than others, and some of them will call it quicker than others. But you gotta, it's almost better to be the aggressor. It's sort of like sometimes in football when teams go into the prevent a little too early. The next thing you know, a team's driving down the field and you're finding yourself in trouble. And
Takedown awarded to Pagero of Tenafly. Will take a 2-0 lead here with 25 seconds remaining in the first period here at 160 pounds.
Looks like he's trying to work a half Nelson here. Yeah, Mateo's going to want to turn his head away from that.
As Coach Carroll on the right side in charge of the Fort Lee Bridgemen, trying to urge his wrestler to at least get up, get an escape point here just before the end of the period.
Pop his head out here and he'll get the point, but
he'll be denied that, so it will be a 2-0 lead for Milo Pagero, the senior for Tenafly, taking a 2-0 advantage with him into the start of the second. We haven't even had a match go into the third period yet here tonight.
That's interesting. I didn't even think about that. They're going to have to condition after the match, both teams.
Did anybody get some sweat in,
Yeah.
their work up here today? But it is deadlocked at 24-all on the team scoreboard. On the line here tonight, Fort Lee trying to win for the first time against Tenafly dating back to 2011 when they won here at home 63-15 that night.
Great move here by Mateo Lopez. He couldn't just quite get out, but
as Pagero trying to avoid giving up the 2 points.
he's just got to regain. Ooh.
As Lopez trailing 2-0.
Once he gets that arm out. Good scramble here.
Fun action going back and forth. Again, Tenafly in the black and orange here tonight. In the black and gray is Fort Lee. Both teams with identical school colors.
Mateo's going to want to pop his head out here to get the point. Oh, and they're out of bounds.
They go out of bounds to the top right-hand corner of the mat. 1:17 remaining here in the second. Still a 2-0 lead for Tenafly's Pagero.
Be interesting to see if Mateo tries to use the same move or if he goes to something different this time around. Stand. He's got to peel those hands off if he wants to get this escape.
Tenafly looking for a win here. They know they need to pile up the points, especially as math is not on their sides with expected forfeits at the upper weights. Lopez on bottom for Fort Lee.
He's got to look the other way.
Pagero riding on top for Tenafly. Looking for that opening here, Charlie. And
yeah, I think Mateo might be able to get out here.
Lopez doing a great job of fending him off and gets the reversal to even the score at 2-all.
He worked tough down there.
Pagero was so close there that it looked like he was going to expose Lopez to maybe near-fall points.
I agree. I thought it was going that way as well.
Credit to the defense on bottom of Lopez. He got the reversal, tied at 2-all, 15 seconds and counting left to go here in the second.
I think sometimes kids get excited. They see that they're close to getting that near fall, and they kind of lose control a little bit. And
Lopez doing a good job of bridging here and preventing Pagero from getting up to get the escape. So it will be 2-2, and for the first time this evening, we will go to a third period in a bout.
Welcome.
So both are standing upright in the neutral position.
Interesting to see the Tenafly coach didn't want to put his guy on bottom. Here's a scenario.
Because you could if you just get up and out, you get that one, and then you could just defensive wrestle the rest of the way. Feeling a little more comfortable on his feet here.
He knows his guys better than we do,
Lopez, though, makes him pay.
Duck under, it looks like.
Gets the takedown, and now this is the first lead of the match for Lopez. Mateo Lopez, the junior. Last time out, lost a 9-2 decision against Dumont on the 20th.
And a reversal we're going to have here. Oh, boy, not quite. Oof.
Potentially dangerous there. It did look like it was going to be very close to being the reversal and tie us up at 4-all. You'll probably hear the Tenafly coaches telling their wrestler to stand right up.
If only it was that easy.
Easier said than done, as Milo Pagero, the senior, trailing for the first time tonight in his match here, 4-2. 1:10 and counting left to go in the third period at 160 pounds.
So Mateo's still working here for a pin, although he's in charge.
Under a minute now left to go. Peguero once again looking for the reversal.
Here you want to give up 1, not 2 if you're Lopez. Oh, and
But he does. He gives up the 2 on the reversal. It's now deadlocked at 4-4.
Great match we have here tonight.
Best match of the evening. 42 seconds left to go here in the third.
Working for that same half Nelson again.
Peguero led early, 2-0 for Tenafly. Then it was tied up, 2-2. Then Lopez took a 4-2 lead for Fort Lee. Peguero has fought back to tie it at 4-all. Coming up on 20 seconds left.
Ooh, and the potentially dangerous.
Whistle for the potentially dangerous. So now if you're Peguero and Lopez, are you being aggressive here, Charlie, or are you thinking about possibly overtime? 21 seconds left, 4-4.
I think Lopez has got to fight big time here to try to get this escape.
All he needs
I would say he's at the advantage from that standpoint.
He gets out. That gets him the points that he needs to take the 5-4 lead. 13 seconds remaining here in the third.
He's just got to pop his head out there. Both teams are getting excited here. We're going to have an interesting finish. It looks like he's just got to get his head out. Can he do it in 3, 2,
1, and the buzzer will sound as that will end the third. Lopez just inches away from getting free to get that win at the buzzer by the escape, and now we head to overtime.
Man, did we put the jinx on this one.
We were talking about it was just all bonus points and 6 points and pins and forfeits. It's nice to be treated to a good old-fashioned match here between two wrestlers leaving it all on the mat.
There hasn't been any downtime in this match whatsoever.
It's gone back and forth. Peguero taking the first shot.
That's a big move right there by Peguero, because if he gives up the 2 here, he's going to put himself at
Lopez trying to wriggle free. There's the 2.
That's a big 2, and that's the match.
And there it is. Tenafly gets the win in overtime with the overtime takedown by Milo Peguero. Peguero's first win of the season as he came in 0-3. And
Great
Tenafly
match.
will take a 27-24 lead on the overall team scoreboard, but by far both wrestlers being celebrated by their respective sides. That was a hard-fought match won by Peguero of Tenafly in overtime.
Yeah, it's crazy to see like the inches it takes to win or lose a wrestling match. You know, a simple pop head out at the end of the period, Mateo wins.
And it seems like, and it's just, and again, in normal times too, Charlie, that's what makes this such a beautiful sport with a whole jam-packed gym, because it's just a roller coaster ride. Even if you've never seen a wrestling match in your life, you get taken up by the emotion because everyone is thinking, all right, here comes Lopez for the escape, and the other side is trying to will on the Pegueros of the world to hold on. It's just pure theater in front.
You can feel the energy
Absolutely.
in the gym. You definitely can. It means something to you.
Now we head to 170 pounds. Max Plotkin for Tenafly.
And Dan Govin here for Fort Lee.
Govin, a senior, 3-0 on the season, had a first period pinfall last time out against Dumont on March 20th. Last match for Fort Lee. Trying to make it 3 straight wins on the season after beginning of the season with a 48-21 loss here at home against Ramsey.
Daniel was one of our football captains. Great kid. Good leader.
How often do you have a lot of football players also being wrestlers here at Fort Lee? Throughout the course of your time as a member of the coaching staff for both programs.
Right. So it's sort of split between wrestling and track. A lot of the time our skill guys are on the track team, which I also happen to coach now. And then, some of our like linebacker, lineman types, we suggest that they go out for wrestling, work on their agility and conditioning, things like that. And I was talking to one of the guys last night.
As Govin getting in a position here, potentially.
And he even taught him. That's a nice pin there for Dan Govin. Yeah, one of the guys last night was telling me he can tell the difference. Like, we told him before he was a freshman. We told him before, go out for wrestling, see how you can improve. And he's like, Coach, I actually believe you now. Because it's a hard sport to sell sometimes.
And you've seen that in terms of the footwork, and you're even seeing it more and more with people in the NFL saying, hey, I was a wrestler. That's really helped me, especially the big nasties in the trenches.
Yeah,
when you see the big guys saying, oh, they they had their experience in high school as a wrestler.
Yeah.
I know that from having played lacrosse, that some of the best people taking face-offs at lacrosse were also all-state wrestlers because it's low man wins, it's
Right.
the foot speed and the balance.
Right, and it's fearless. You know,
Absolutely.
you're okay going, blow for blow with somebody else.
Now here we go to the upper weights where
Yeah, it looks like
it's going to be forfeit after
down the
forfeit.
line, yeah.
We'll forfeit at 185 for Tenafly. Now here at 195,
Unopposed.
it's going to be another forfeit victory. Stefano Hudulis picking up that victory, remaining undefeated, 4-0.
Yeah, and that makes it official there. 42 makes it official usually.
So Fort Lee already has clinched the overall duel here tonight as their lead grows to 42-27. We go to 220 pounds.
Checking in at 220. Bayrami, unopposed.
Marsham Bayrami, the freshman, now 2-2 on the season after the forfeit victory at 220 pounds.
And, it's a little disappointing, I think, for the kids when they don't have a match because you get excited, especially with the way they're doing weigh-ins this year. You don't really know until the team get. Normally, you have your weigh-ins and you kind of know if they have a kid at that weight class, but the way they're doing weigh-ins this year, people are doing them at their own homes, and that's it.
So that will finish it off. Great sportsmanship here as both teams giving a round of applause to everybody and thanking Tenafly for coming to make the trip. So Tenafly will finish off here tonight, losing 54-27, the victory for the Bridgemen. Now their third straight on the season. So Fort Lee will go to 3-1 with the victory. Tenafly will fall to 0-4 with the defeats. And the next time out now, it's going to be a road match for Fort Lee. They hit the road for the next three opportunities, Charlie. They travel to Westwood. Then they'll go to Elmwood Park over the weekends and then take on Pascack Hills on the 30th before coming back home for what essentially is going to be the league title on the line as they're going to be taking on Cliffside Park on April 1st.
It looks like tough matches coming up for Fort Lee, but it should get them ready for that matchup with Cliffside Park. You want to go up against good competition. You don't. Regarding Tenafly, it's going to be tough to get team wins if you're giving up 24 points every match. So.
Because even though they were getting those bonus points and the pins and even forfeits themselves in the beginning, it just gives you no room for wiggle room there. You have to win everything by big margins.
Yeah, essentially all your actual matches have to be wins.
Well, thank you, Coach, for joining us. I hope that it was a fun time for you, and hopefully we could do this again and have even more bouts under our belt here for the rest of the season.
Great. It was nice to meet you.
That was Charlie Salome, our analyst for tonight. Special thanks again, of course, to Jordan Sarnoff, who's our producer, and Maria Giantazio doing the camera work here from East Gymnasium. Again, the final score, it's Fort Lee 54 and Tenafly 27. This has been Fort Lee Wrestling on your YouTube home for Fort Lee Athletics. So for everybody here, I'm Dan Long saying good evening, and we'll see you again on Fort Lee Wrestling. And again, one final reminder, fans, that our 2021 Bridgman Wrestling store is open now, accepting your orders until April 5th. Items purchased will ship directly to your home address. To buy now, please visit tinyurl.com/Bridgman Wrestling Store. That's tinyurl.com/Bridgman Wrestling Store. Let's go Fort Lee. So again, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next time.